Lord. The sun peeks over the horizon. Your excitement builds. The animals in the field start to stir. The forest comes alive with sounds. The sunlight glimmers off the lake, and the mountains start to shed their morning fog. So load up your favorite ammo, grab a few buddies, and head out to make some memories. And tell the rest of the world that you've gone hunting. Gone Hunting is a 1 to 4 player game of family fun where you build a unique hunting ground, scout different animals, buy weapons and gear, and roll dice to hunt. Complete objectives and try not to miss. So let's load up the truck and back Gone Hunting today. See you in the field. Today, the Big Sexy Outdoors crew takes the show on the road as we once again head to Moore's Exotic Hunts. Hunt along with us as we enjoy good friends, cold weather, and big laughs. Only on Now listen, I gotta say, I know everybody says I have a face for radio. Hey, Andrew. But I gotta keep doing the voiceovers.
It's not a good way to start.
No, it's my way to start.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, why don't you introduce who we got here?
Hey, we got Big Andrew here in the house. Word to your homies. How you doing? Giving the old Queen wave.
Got the old Queen wave going.
My blue
not the
guys. My blue Batista wave.
Yeah.
Wait! I see that wave. You don't have a Budweiser, do you?
Bud Light.
I have no comment. I have no comment on that. I have no comment. Absolutely none.
You've had a heck of a couple of weeks, haven't you? You've been in for surgery. You've been getting better. Glad to hear. And so, what brings you here tonight?
I really don't know. I just stop in. That's why I'm here. Back to Kickstarter. That's why I'm here. I threw an extra $10. I probably didn't have to, but I wanted it to be more successful and obviously go further. And I just want to talk about it. Whatever we're going to talk about. I am not a hunter, so I don't know if I qualify, but I do enjoy fishing. And so obviously I really can't hunt because of my disability, but I can sit on a dock, throw out a rod, and catch some fish. So that's why I'm here. And that's kind of what I guess my outdoor experience is. But beyond that, I prefer to stay inside.
And we definitely will be getting into that. We could always do like Cabela's hunting on the PlayStation or the Xbox.
There's only one. It's with the Wii. It's with the Wii because it has the motion sensor, so you can like move your Wii, and you put the Wii controller in the gun. You put the nunchuck thing in it, and you move it, and then it actually comes with like a plastic rifle. It's awesome. And what's crazy is that the 2-pack custom rifles, or I guess it was a set, was actually $30 cheaper than buying the game straight out at Best Buy when it first dropped. And I'm like, oh my God, Resident Evil with a rifle like this is on the Wii is going to be dope. And it is. But I bought it for 2 reasons, because it's a lot of fun to play Cabela's. But it's even more fun to play Resident Evil with like a plastic rifle that you put your Wii nunchuck in there. Oh, it's awesome. It's just awesome. It takes sniping to a whole new level. But this is so not appropriate.
I'm going to have to try that.
I'm sorry. Continue, please.
Hey, you just brought hunting to a whole new level for me. I'm going to have to try it out. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to.
Hit the wrong button.
So you love to fish. Tell us one of your fishing stories.
Yeah, no, so one of the things is that obviously I have a disability, and that's not a secret, and it's a very physical one. So what winds up happening is that, I'm not really a gun guy. It's not my thing. And one day, my dad's like, hey, you want to go fishing? And he had a friend who was into fishing. And so obviously we went out, and I just kind of knew how to cast a rod naturally, got it. And then, it's just a very peaceful thing that me and my dad used to do a while back. and you go either early in the morning or you go late at night, and then you just cast out, and you catch a few things, you don't catch anything, and it was just peaceful. So it wasn't even so much, I guess, the fishing. It was just the idea that you just leave your phone in your car, you sit on a bucket out on a dock. Dock's swaying a little bit, but it's not moving too much, and it's not a physical activity, but it's outside, and nobody's bothering you. And then also, depending on when you go, obviously there's like a 7-year-old with his dad going out there, and he's got one of those like cute little fishing kits that you get at like for $30, and you could tell that it's kind of fun too. And you see that, and you're like, oh, cool. But I do have a fun story that happened, but it's not fishing relating. That happened. It's duck related.
It's all right. We'll do a duck related. That's just like fishing to me.
Here's what happened is that, so my dad's friend threw out his rod. So now a school of ducks and the mother duck and her babies are coming through. The hook gets caught on one of the babies.
Oh.
So now he's like, oh my God. So you have to roll in this thing very, very slowly. The mother duck is flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh my God. And then what ended up having to happen is that he rolled in the little baby duck, got out the hook. The baby duck was fine. It wasn't a big deal, but you could tell the mother duck. Ever seen a mother duck angry and upset and quacking? Oh my God. Like, it sounded horrendous, but the baby was fine. Put the baby back in. They all went along their merry way, got back into formation, and they were good to go. But I was like, oh my gosh. And this is at the start of like, so, but it's a funny story now because nobody got hurt.
Yeah, well, I got it.
But I think it's hilarious. I wish I had a video of it, and my phone was in the car. Of all the times to bring your phone out to go fishing, this would have been the one. But yeah, no, that was the story. But again, it's funny now because nothing got hurt. And
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, the duck's doing great. It's had a happy life. Maybe it found a partner. I don't know. I'm sure it's doing great.
Duck all around.
And I don't know if anybody is a duck lawyer expert and wants to represent the duck. But yeah, that's my story.
Brandon?
You have to find the duck first. I mean, I'll give you all the coordinates, and you can figure out, and there you go.
So I have two questions to that then, because I hear these stories. I like hearing that, and this really has nothing to do with your story in general, but your fishing experience. And that is, what's the biggest fish you've caught? And then my second question to that would be, would you rather fish nighttime or daytime?
So I mean, maybe it was like 13 inches, but it was a topwater bass. So you kind of capture it off of like the top water. And I don't know how to describe that, but anybody knows fishing, there's a particular way sometimes that you can catch a bass. So it wasn't a large fish, but every time I tell the story, it was now a 14-inch bass. That's how fishing stories go. Yeah, no, and it was fun because it was a little bit of a fight on that one. And it's also, it wasn't my first one that I caught. It was early on though. But it was fun. It was sort of just like jumping out and you capture it. And yeah, it was not the biggest bass I've seen. I've seen like a 3-foot bass, and
Really?
that thing is a smart bass for sure. Because you don't get to be a 3-foot bass in a lake for no good reason. And I don't know much about, basses and other thing of that, but I don't know if it was a male, female. I don't know how their anatomy works. But I do know how to put my thumb into it to paralyze it. That's as far as I go. But yeah, so that's the biggest one. It was a 15-inch bass. But yeah, that's the biggest one I got. And honestly,
He went from 13 to 14 to 15 in 2 minutes. I love it. By the time we're done, it's going to be 22.
It's now 16-inch bass. But yeah, no. And honestly, I mean, I prefer to fish at night. And the reason why is that I'm not a morning person. So I don't really want to wake up at 6 a.m. And that's just how I feel. I'd rather go and fish at night because I'm already awake. You go out maybe 6, 7 o'clock. maybe you catch dinner early or you get dinner after, and that's just how I feel. It's also, I find, more peaceful just at that point because less people are out. And yeah, but also, sometimes just sitting out on a dock in the middle of the day is fun too. I mean, I'll be very honest, on a nice warm day, if you're out on a lake, and even if the lake's busy, it's fun because it becomes social. But again, my fond memories are fishing at night around 6, 7 o'clock. And yeah, it's just peaceful as the sun sets down. So
Well, that's cool. I listen. Being outdoors to me is just the best part of the whole thing. I just get to be outside, breathing fresh air, and loving life.
I
So,
think
Andrew, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I know you see everybody's seeing on the screen Andrew, the investor Davis, but tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
yeah, so my name is Andrew Davis. Obviously, I already disclosed enough. I have a disability, a very physical one. So I have, oh snap, these are popping up. This is freaky. But yeah, so I have a very physical disability that is called hereditary spastic paraplegia, which means that my muscles are tighter and it is progressively getting worse. It is not life threatening. It just means that I need to take care of my body. And then I just recently had a surgery to correct another surgery that did not go so well. And so obviously that has impacted my life. And then fast forward on the other side, I've been buying, selling comics, Lego minifigs, Pop Funkos, baseball cards, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering. You name it, I probably have sold it on eBay. I've been doing it for 10 years. And I really specialize in comics, in bad girl art. And I run an eBay store called Pop Anime Comics Collectibles. And I'm in the process of expanding and going through actually rapid expansion, where the goal is to double my revenue. And I tend to run anywhere from a 32 to 40% profit margin after I replace merchandise. And I talk a lot about this. And then what I do on that topic, and again, this goes right back into my disability, is I tend to take my profits from my eBay business and buy equities, which are stocks, things that produce other things, crypto, REITs, private REITs, public REITs, you name it, and then other, fun stuff in that regard, bonds, and a lot of other things in that regard. So that's where the investor side comes from. And again, due to my disability, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to physically work. And so I want to make sure that I can protect my assets and myself indefinitely. And that's where the investor side comes from. And my goal ultimately is to teach comic book investing to people. And that's my big thing. And I'm in the process of actually doing I actually have another goal that I've actually haven't spoken about, where I want to create almost a alternative university on YouTube. I'm teaching alternative investing for free, where I want to teach basically a 2-hour class every Thursday. And I want to assign homework and do a bunch of stuff. And that's something that I want to build out in the next 2 to 3 years. Absolutely free. If anybody signs up for it and wants to join me every week, I will grade your assignments. And it's not a tuition thing. It's just something that I want to do because I want to make people better investors. And I'm a big advocate for financial freedom. And it's something that we do not teach in this country. And I'm very adamant about it. And that's really my area of expertise. But beyond that, I'm an anime guy, I'm a comic guy, and I enjoy fishing.
Well, I think that's great. And listen, your surgeries and your disability, brother, we'll pray for you. Continue to give our prayers for you, and God can do amazing things. So that we will definitely do for you.
I'm definitely lucky. Luck. I heard a quote. I forget who said it. Seneca might have said it. The philosopher might have said, luck is when opportunity meets being prepared. And I definitely think that I'm lucky. Some people, view it as a blessing. To me, whether you're lucky, you're blessed, however you interpret it, obviously I'm in a very good position for once in my life where my surgery's gone well. I'm dealing with my disability. Obviously, I'm turning a corner. And who knows, maybe, obviously with modern technology and all that stuff, maybe some good's coming. But I appreciate all prayers to me. I appreciate every support to me. And I appreciate it.
So I see Chris popping up your stuff here.
Yeah, sorry. You were talking a little bit ago about how you caught the 13, 14, the 37-inch, the 237-foot bass.
No, Chris, it's 17 inches. It's 17 inches.
That's what she said. So,
oh God,
I was talking to my cousin Tommy not too long ago. That's Ben's little brother, right? When I say little, he's like what, 3 foot nothing, and Tommy caught the biggest fish, or the biggest thing I've ever seen on the lake. It was a 300-pound Sasquatch. I don't want to mention Ben's name, but
yes, he did catch me that time, and he hooked
cast,
me good.
passed back, hooked him right in the lip like it was one of the comedy specials, like you see it in a movie, and just went to cast out. And, I didn't laugh. I mean, no, I laughed. That would be a lie to say I didn't laugh.
So, all right, you want to tell funny? I got funny. So let's do it. We're going to talk about fishing and funny. All right, I got one, boys. So we were out at Sweet Owl Lake in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. And anybody knows anything about the lake road runs right along the guardrails where everybody fishes. And we were out there, and my Uncle Eric, he's dead now. God bless him soul. He has this weight on it. He's getting out there as far as he can go. I think it was Eric. Maybe it was Charlie. Anyway, they wind up real big, and you hear it go, dunk, hits a car. And all of a sudden you hear it go, the whole car took everything he had. There was no saving it. Gone. Literally every single thing he had was history dragging up the road. You want to talk about now I was young. You want to talk about a kid that was going to get a beating. I laughed so hard. I had tears rolling down my cheeks. Oh, my God, he was so angry.
You see that one, Ben?
Yeah. Dude, that would have been a heck of a taxidermy fee. So off subject a little bit, Andrew. I know that you purchased one of our board games. I know you've been watching the process. I know, you being you and Chris doing the comics and stuff.
Yeah, we've been hanging out for like 2 years now at least.
I know it's been a while you guys hang out. So you see the board game and stuff coming. I haven't really had a chance to talk to you about any of this. So what's your thoughts on all this? Like, I know you purchased one, and I figured you'd do no matter what to help us out because that's the type of guy you are. But what's your real thoughts when you see it come out? You see that promo video and you see the game box and the pieces?
Do you want my honest opinion?
I do. No, I do. I want honest.
I think the voice acting needs a little work. I'm not.
How you doing?
No. I mean, honestly, I'm excited for it. I've said it before, and I said that, when obviously you were on other shows and when it first came out before the second attempt, I said, hey, I think you guys are filling in a niche for a bunch of people who do not play board games that want to play board games. And I think this is very much not necessarily a niche product, but hitting a market that hasn't been serviced yet. And I view it, where it's similar to Catan to some degree with the hexagons. And I think that, I think it might take a little bit of, culture getting out of. Obviously, I hate to say this, but right now guns are a really big issue. And there's a lot of negativity towards guns with everything that happened at Nashville. And I hope, obviously those people find peace and I hope they find closure. And, obviously I hope, they move on because it's a very damaging thing in that community right now. But I also think that, it's filling in a niche because there's plenty of people who like hunting and nerd culture has changed. And now it's cool to do this. And there's plenty of hunters who I guarantee would never be caught playing a board game. But now they're like, oh, this is Gone Hunting. And it's a hunting board game and cool. And I think that's kind of what is out there. And that's what I really think. I mean, do I think that, this is the greatest board game ever made? No. Do I think it's going to be a fun one? Yeah. Do I think it's going to be a good product? Yeah. But I think even more than that, you're filling in a niche and you're opening up a market. And that's what I really think.
Well, we appreciate that.
I do. I super appreciate that.
Yeah. We always value honesty and everything else. And yeah, we really we did this for those people that don't want to go out and actually hunt. They can do this without killing an animal. Although we did have some say that they wanted us to die and get gored by deer and everything.
I just
That
want you to know, though, they paid $1 to say that, so they could spend all the dollars they want to say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can spend all the money you want if you want to tell us to die.
See, that's what's interesting is that I have haters, and all they had to do was give me $1, and they could have hated on me all they wanted. And if there's ever a conversation with my haters, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say all you had to do was throw me $5, but you instead whined about it and you didn't do it, so you lose that right. But if you buy me a coffee, guys, $5, you can hate on me all you want. It's
That's
open season for that season of the show.
Yep.
I agree. I think that's great.
$5 an episode, you can come on and you can say whatever you want.
At one point, just so you know, Chris was promoting.
Screw that. Sorry for my language. $5 for an entire season. That's 150 episodes.
Oh, wow.
I don't think you're gonna get a better deal. You're not coming on my show. You could comment on my show. I'll acknowledge it with a like. But yeah, that's my whole thing. But yeah, so but they won't even give me $5, so they lose the right. So you just gave me my ultimate comeback. Thank you. I appreciate it. Totally worth it. Meant to be on here. Totally worth it.
Andrew, there's a comment there for you.
Yeah. So Bad Girl Art. Bad Girl Art is this idea. It kind of roots back to a company called Top Cow back in the 90s. Mark Silvestri, Matt Hawkins, who I know very well, Rob Liefeld. Top Cow is sort of part of Image. And they did all this bad girl, sort of sexy women. I'm trying to figure out the nicest way how to put it. Strong female characters looking rather, nice, hot, sexy, and Bad Girl Art really captures that. It's not necessarily nudity. It's not necessarily. It can be, but think Elektra is a good example. Emma Frost, you can make the argument is Bad Girl Art. Things like Zenoscope. And there's a few others, and yeah, so that's kind of what it is. But usually it depicts strong female characters showing a little skin, in some very appropriate sexy poses, and that might help. That's a good which played by Terry Dodson, I think.
Yeah,
is what that says. That's Bad Girl Art. I'm trying to figure out the most appropriate way how to describe this. Because I definitely know this is a more friendly show versus if this was my show, I would use different vernacular. But yes, hopefully that is the best way I could describe it in the most, appropriate way for lack of
and
there's
been a bit of a resurgence of it lately. It kind of died near the end of the 90s, early 2000s, and now it's coming back. And
I've said this before that Zenoscope, who I have a very good relationship with, brought it back and really started bringing it back in 2004. And they are next gen Bad Girl Art, and places like Merc Magazine, also Jamie Tyndall's company with Sean, I can't say Sean's last name, and Murphy have really done a good job with it, and a few others. So yeah, it's Tom Hutchinson, who Tom, he's done a good job with it as well. And so that's kind of that realm. So if you look up Zenoscope, Big Dog Inc., Merc Mag, you're going to have a pretty good idea. Mount Olympus is another one. Those four are really, and Dynamite. Red Sonja. I mean, Red Sonja's
yeah.
And 50 years of Red Sonja, guys. 50 years. That's crazy. It's been around for 50 years. Like, how did that happen? I'm 30, and I feel like old saying that I haven't been around for 20 of those years. God, but this is so far from fishing, so far from hunting and
That's
fishing.
all right. So, listen, I do have a question. So, you're in comics, right? So, we're asking comic questions. I have one for you. You ever see a comic book based on the hunting or fishing experience?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. There has to be something. But I haven't seen anything like that in a while, and I can't think of something off the top of my head. I've seen stuff about food, in that regard, and not manga, but Anthony Bourdain has something called Hungry Ghost, which is about food, and 100 candles and food and cooking and stuff like that. But I haven't seen anything about hunting. But that there's a manga called Tortorico, and at Tortorico, that manga is that he is a rare food hunter. So he hunts rare ingredients, and then he partners up with a chef. And so they're killing like 6-armed gorillas, and they're trying to hunt down some like really cool creatures that you punch in the stomach 100 times and it produces like the sweetest cola in the world. And I mean, he's like hunting things, and he pairs up with a chef that cooks awesome meals. And so it's a great manga. But that's the closest thing that I've seen about hunting. But it's got more of a fantasy vibe to it. But it's a great manga. And manga and comics are, to me, similar, if not synonymous at this point. But I recommend Tortorico if you're a hunter and you like that and you don't mind sort of Dragon Ball Z-esque, some stuff like that. You'll have a good time with that manga.
So, Chris, maybe we need to be the first, is what he said.
Well, I was talking about actually doing a Gone Hunting comic months ago. I never said anything, of course, but yeah,
that would be pretty cool to put the first one out there, the first guy to ever throw one out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't seen one. I've seen mangas like Tortorico. I've never seen a hunting manga or a comic. Never seen a fishing comic. I'm sure they exist. I'm sure of it. But I haven't seen it, and I don't know one off the top of my head. So, it's not common, is my point.
Yeah, I've been plotting out a story for it. It's just, time how it is. But yeah, I think. There is hunting in the first Slaughterville comic. We actually have Booper getting his face cut off and getting killed.
Nice.
So there's a little bit in it. Yeah. So Booper dies. No, it's in the second book where Booper dies.
Is that like Booper, our cousin?
Yeah, our cousin Booper. Yeah, I put him in the comic and then promptly killed him.
Nice.
It's like when we used to hang out.
Well, no, then he was stealing my Nintendo.
I felt so bad. Andrew, you're gonna like this because you like wrestling. We were young and stupid. Now we're just old and stupid. And I power bombed our cousin Booper onto concrete.
Yeah, he did.
I did. We were just all screwing around, and I power bombed.
He did. And when we were kids, Booper's head was like this big compared to his body.
12 foot wide.
It's not like that anymore, but when we were kids, it was like his head was like, I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it was huge compared to his body. Well, then when Chris power bombed him, it was like really huge.
Yeah.
You can imagine a head this big swollen, so it was like this. But he power bombed him right in the middle of the concrete. No,
don't get me wrong, we love Booper to death, but that was almost to death. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, off subject, Booper's probably turned into be one of the greatest people in his family that I will sit here and vouch is phenomenal.
Yeah, we're still going to make fun of him. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, he's a great dad. He works hard every day. Booper has really, from what he was to a kid to now, he has truly become a different person.
Now, we jump around a lot, but that's just
we do. It's okay.
It's how squirrels are.
You see Dave's comment?
Oh, plenty of them.
I would buy one of those bad girl funding big sexy in a comic.
We can do that. I can do that. I can pay to make that happen. We can do that. Now, I'm not the fishing guy here. That's Skip, right? If you want to talk about fishing, that's Skip. But I like deep sea. I've gone out to the bay. Do you? I don't want to. Not to anywhere near docks yourself, but do you prefer to get to the bay more often or to a lake or?
I'm more of a lake guy. I mean, you're not going to dox me. I mean, I live in the tri-state area, so there's plenty of areas. So I live somewhere in New Jersey, Connecticut, New York. And it's not a secret where I live. I mean, nobody knows my address, which is nice. I can easily go out into, the ocean. I mean, obviously I've been down to Virginia Beach a bunch of times. So, I can pretty much get anywhere I want. I prefer to fish at a lake. I know the spot. That's the thing, is that when you go out deep sea fishing, all the stuff is provided to you. If you catch something big, it's nice because they usually will cut it up, and that happens. I've heard stories where some guy was on a podcast and he was telling the story, and it's a famous story, where he was like capturing like a big fish, talking like 400 pounds, right? And so he's reeling it in, and the captain was negotiating the sale of the fish.
Nice.
Before it was even brought in, which is funny. And that guy walked away with a nice big check. Very, very cool story, very funny story. And he's on the phone. The captain's negotiating the deal without the guy even knowing. So he's like, "Yeah, I caught it, guys." He's like, "By the way, sir, we just negotiated a $40,000 deal for you. Why do you want it?" Like, you can imagine that he's thrilled. And he's like taking a picture. He's like, "Oh, sir, you just negotiated a $40,000 deal for you?" It's like, but yeah, so there you go. But again, back to the question. I know my lake that I typically fish at, and it's just that I know the spots. I also know what's going to be in that lake. So there you go. When you go deep sea fishing out there, you don't know what's there. It's not yours, if that makes sense. You didn't buy a permit. So if I see trash at my lake, I'm probably going to pick it up. It's not my lake, it's my fishing spot. So I'm probably going to clean up my fishing spot a lot nicer than anything else. And also, let's say I'm done fishing for the day and I got 7 worms left, I'm probably going to throw the worms into the lake because, again, why not feed them? Or I might throw the worms out into the soil and do something and make the environment better. So yeah, that I wouldn't do that in the sea or the bay.
Yeah, I know. My pap took me out deep sea fishing a couple times when I was younger, but the most recent one was with my sister and her in-law type style of the family. We were 5 people on a 6-foot bass boat out in the bay. And that was kind of freaky because you had dolphins swimming by. You had stingrays right when Steve Irwin died. R.I.P. Steve. And that's the one where I caught a hammerhead with my bare hands. It was swimming by, and you reach down and you grab it by the tail.
You caught it with your bare hands?
Yeah.
How big was this thing?
Huh? It was only like 2.5, 3 foot. So we just reached. It was literally swimming right next to the boat, bumping it. Just reach down real fast, grab it, and it was.
And what would you do if that thing bit you?
Ow! I'm a guy. I don't think about that shit. I'm Steph. Look, you go for the views. Even back then, we went for the BSO views.
Jim, we didn't have a camera for half the things in our life. I know that.
Yep.
I think about a lot of things. I mostly think before I do something, mostly. But then again, I agree. If I'm in a bar and there's a cute girl, I'm not going to think if she has a boyfriend. I'm going to just go for it and see what happens. I haven't gotten killed yet, so I'm okay.
Worst case, they tell you no, right?
Exactly.
And then you know what you respond with? You say, "Great, I have a goldfish. Can I buy you a drink?" And that's how it usually goes. They said, "Oh, I have a bird." I'm like, "So, can I buy you a drink?" And I have a goldfish. And you just continue the conversation because, unless her boyfriend's there, it's not really a problem.
My luck, Andrew, the boyfriend will be there. I'm just saying. Been there, done that, know the end result. It always ends up bad for me.
It's all right. It's all right. I have friends who have 4th degree black belts who typically accompany me with a bar when I go out bar hopping and stuff like that. So I feel very safe. I feel very safe in my life. So
I'm not scared. I just don't like the way it ends up. It always ends up bad.
Oh, I'm terrified. That's why I have my friends.
No, I'm not scared.
So
I'm looking at this bunny though in your thing. Now I can't see it well. I have my glasses off, so forgive me, but Dave was talking about your girlies hair. Scroll up there.
It's an elf. It's not a bunny. It's an elf.
I have my glasses off. You got to bear with me here a little bit.
He's prettier without the glasses.
Yeah, I'm pretty blind without my glasses, but no, I can pick it out.
So yeah, that's your mascot. You've had that for a while too.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about her. I can tell she's an elf.
Oh, you mean this?
Right here, yeah.
Oh.
That's a bunny.
Wait. Oh man, which one are we talking about? The Don Cross interview, the cosplayer,
right there.
Oh
Middle
yeah.
one.
So not Emma Frost, but the photography one, the one with the green background, right?
Yeah.
So that I'm actually really excited for. I actually had to build that interview too. I have to write, but I have a pretty good idea. That's Don Cross. Don Cross has been doing photography for 30 years. And he works with all of these top models who are like internationally known all over the world. And so what wound up happening is that I got connected to a company called LFC. And LFC is a wrestling company, for lack of a better word. And what wound up happening is that I was just a fan of theirs. I knew some people who wrestled there, like Ali Parker, Jen Thomas, Desi Dorada. A bunch of people have wrestled there. Allison Kay has wrestled there. Mia Yim has wrestled there. Stephanie Stalls has wrestled there. A bunch of people have wrestled there. Cool company. Katie Forbes is there right now. And so what wound up happening is that they were doing something where I asked a question to their founder. I'm like, dude, we're going to use this question for the podcast. Can we send you a t-shirt? I'm like, of course you can. And then turns out that I was doing an interview with Shelby Paris, who wrestles there too, wore the t-shirt, got cut up with a guy named Tommy Bell, interviewed Tommy. Fast forward, Tommy and Don Cross are really good friends. And I just asked Don Cross for an interview. Tommy put in a good word for me, and that's how that came about. And we're going to be talking about a lot of his photography, working with a lot of top models like Sushi Yvette, Whitney Morgan, Adara Jordan, and a few others. And yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be fun. And I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised what we talk about in that interview. I have a pretty good idea what we're going to talk about. And it might get a little steamy is a good way to put it. And yeah, but I'm excited for it because he's been doing this for 30 years. And that's definitely something that's different. And I like different on my show.
I like how you do the title cards. I keep looking at them. I like that.
I do that all myself, and I see how it works. And some of them are better than others. I'm not a fan of the Don Cross one. It was just that the images just didn't line up exactly right. But I really like the two cosplayers. I like the Paul Gomez. And I really like the Timothy B. Fling one, which is right next to Paul. I think that one really looks good.
Yeah.
And so JD Calderon's one looks really good too.
Yeah, having a good picture for your video is actually really important. Because whoops, I don't know what the heck happened.
No, I agree that when you see that stuff is eye catching and grabbing. Yeah. We need to do more of that. That's definitely
it's crazy. I mean, this takes me maybe like 3-4 minutes. And it took me a long time to figure out how to get this right. I mean, if you scroll down, you'll see the actual progression of how I've gotten better at this. I mean, it might take a little while. But like some of the like some of this is not great. I mean, this is I mean, one of my favorites is the Rock Lee one with Brian Donovan from Naruto. I love that one. But like, if you keep scrolling down, you're gonna see the natural progression. Eventually. I love the Bella Rockefeller. If you want to scroll up for 1 second. So it's the one where she's the boxer and it's the two girls on the side and then her punching. I absolutely love the way I did that one. I absolutely love that card. Because I like the fact that it's like she's punching you. I love it. But and then there's this weird one, this God hunting thing. I don't know if it's gonna catch off.
He's special.
But the Greg Will Watson one is good. I feel it's eye catching. I like that one a lot, but if you keep scrolling down, I'll show you what I mean. Because yeah, like those like see like those aren't that great, right? So
especially this one. This one sucks.
Well, there's a gay guy in that one.
There is.
I do like this. This was the start of my evolution. This was the
Yeah.
start of the evolution, right? Because I put that, little thing, it says vegan approved.
I like that.
But like seriously though, I mean, I'm in a real conversation about marketing. I mean, this was okay, this stuff, but it wasn't great. And obviously, I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was a mistake, but I've evolved as a creator. I mean, even still, like that lightning bolt was an improvement.
Yeah.
I mean that lightning bolted was a big game changer in the background because at least it adds some flavor to it, right? And putting my logo in there adds some flavor. And then all of a sudden I'm doing these title cards that, in my opinion, look way better. I don't know how to explain that. Like, it looks more professional and it's also more eye-catching.
I think it looks. I think the eye catching, of course, is always the big deal. You got to catch somebody's attention.
And you've been doing this for how long?
I'm interviewing collectively for about 10 years, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and some other places. Probably about three and a half. I started in March of 2020 in the middle of COVID. The live stuff, and I haven't looked back. I haven't actually released a podcast episode in probably almost 4 years, because I've been doing this instead. My podcast stuff is still active, and I have about 100 episodes on the podcast side that need to be released and edited. And at some point, these two things are going to fuse together. They have to. And when they do, I'm going to have like 1,200 episodes released all at once on a brand new platform. And it's going to be a lot of fun because I have a lot of content. But I love doing live stuff. It's just faster, quicker, and I think I'm a better interviewer for it. And anything could happen live. So there you go.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that. So have you spent a lot of time watching our stuff?
Minimally, to be honest.
That's all right. That's why we're asking. I'm curious. I'm curious what your thoughts were on what you've seen.
I've seen a lot of the shorts, and that's about it. I really
my shorts or YouTube shorts?
YouTube shorts.
Because my shorts right now are pretty cute. They're black and gray.
Lord.
but I don't think I have enough watching time with your stuff in particular, to give you guys a real honest opinion on it, because I just haven't really done it. I mean, I don't watch much people's stuff anymore anyway, so it's not just your stuff. I mean, right. I played Chris's games. I, read, Chris's book. I do some weird stuff with it.
I don't blame you.
Here is fun. It's fun. It's fun. That's not Chris's stuff right here, but this is. Yes, it is. Oh, it's a little. So I have that. And I actually bought this one on the Kickstarter. I think I did. Yes, I think this is the first one. So I bought this. I bought this one. This was not sent to me. I bought it, and it's cool. So yeah, there you go. It's in the plastic still. I opened it up, unopened it, sealed it back up, protected it. It's sacred. It's like the whole book. It's like
It's like mine. Mine's the same way. That face.
I love it.
I'm actually gonna put it back now so that nothing happens to it, because in my condition with my foot, I'm one fall away from ruining everything.
Yeah, you can't.
I meant my foot. I didn't mean your book.
No, well, yeah, no. I can replace the book. We couldn't replace the other thing.
We can replace the foot too. I mean, technically speaking, we can replace everything at this point. I would prefer not to go through what I went through again.
Right.
It would be cool to have a robo foot. I mean, let's face all the things you do, and all the comics and all the things. I mean, you can make your own comic if you had a robo foot.
It'd be like Cyborg from like Teen Titans. Yeah. You just have like a sonic cannon like attached to it, and like you just lay down. That'd be great. It'd be so much fun.
Off topic before I forget, I've been wanting to ask you: did you see the RoboCop video game coming out?
I didn't. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
I don't even play much video games anymore. I have no time.
It is RoboCop from the 80s. You're gonna, yeah. If you like RoboCop, you're gonna love it. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's gonna be awesome. I mean, it sounds great. I just haven't seen it. I mean, it's like I'm the worst, right? Like right now, I'm on a huge anime kick, and I'm on a huge wrestling kick, and I'm on like a huge just running my eBay business kick, and that's it. Like, and obviously I'll go fishing in a little bit, and I'm watching baseball right now. Like that's really like it, and I'm just trying to keep me from going crazy. Like I'll watch like Mets play and it just calms me down. It just calms me down. I can't explain it. But like I'm right now expanding a business where I'm doubling my revenue. And I'm on that quest in the next 12 months. And it is every emotion you could think of. Where it's stressful, exciting, frustrating, rewarding, terrifying, no fear. Sure, put it on my credit card. And you pay down your debt and you repeat it again. And you're like, oh my God, I just got out of debt. You're back into debt. And then you're back out of debt. And then you're back in debt on a daily basis. It's insane what I'm doing. And it's like, there's nothing like it on the planet. Like, I wish there was like a drug that did this for you.
Meth.
There probably is, but I don't know if your life would be as good. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's
and you'd be a lot more broke.
Well.
See. If there was a drug that did this, the whole thing is that what would happen is that I would have all of the same emotions, but I would be less rich.
Yeah. No, I was looking at your stuff here, and it's like you have interviews because, like you said, you're swamped and you have a lot of things going on besides the surgeries and everything else. Because you have interviews like what 2-3 a day sometimes.
I usually have 2 on Tuesday and 2 on Wednesday. And then I'm releasing a lot of content every day. So I release a lot of 3-4 minute videos. And I just scheduled out to May. And nice. I'm right now building the next 50-60. Just cutting up interviews. So every interview that has a short has been released. So I can tell you the next 4 that I'm coming up. Rebecca Forstad, who is Lynn Minmay from Robotech. I'm cutting up her interview. I am cutting up Joe Brush's interview from Zenoscope, who is one of the co-founders of Zenoscope. I'm cutting up Greg Bo Watson, one of the nicest human beings in comics.
Dude, no doubt. No doubt. I can tell you something.
I mean, he's just a nice human being, and let me see who else I'm kind of because I forget on the other one, and then Dorothy Fawn, who plays Conan from Naruto, and she plays stuff in Digimon, and so again, real powerhouse voice actress. So I mean, my next 4 people that I'm working on and cutting up their interviews, some serious firepower. And that's the short stuff so that you can just take a 3-minute clip out of your day and you don't have to watch the whole interview. And then there's shorts going to be attached to that. I mean, I'm swamped, but it's a lot of fun, man. I've been doing this forever. But I love it.
Mm-hmm. That's just it. The second you stop loving it is when you should stop doing it.
Oh, that's definitely.
That almost happened this year. And the exact moment it did. And we don't have to talk about it. But anybody who knows, and a lot of people do, knows exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But they failed. They failed.
As they always will. I have your Sam Carter one sitting here because I like the horror stuff. So his take on the slasher one, I want to give a watch.
That was a crazy interview in October. So within 48 hours, that did 1,600 plus plays. Because it's a Final Boy, and that's what his thing is that it's called Final Boy, and whatever happens is that sometimes in life you just trigger an algorithm on YouTube, and it happens every once in a while, and it's freaky. I mean, I just had something happen to me where my content doesn't do well sometimes, but sometimes it does. But I also play the long game. I'm not looking at the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks. I'm looking at the next 5 years for every piece of content that I put out there. And so with my short content and my thought process, and I'm very honest about this, is I don't really care what it does today. I care the fact that I want all my content to do 6 plays a week. Because if you have 5,000 videos and each of those is doing 6 plays a week, you're doing 30,000 plays every single week. I mean, you now have a successful YouTube channel. I don't want, and I'm going to say something that's probably not appropriate. I don't want to be a one-hit wonder. And we look at where things are going. And we look at all of these models and cosplayers and OnlyFans people. And this is just that. I know I'm crossing the line slightly, but bear with me. We look at all of them, and a lot of these people, I feel they're going to have 3, 4, 5 years, and then they're going to be a flash in the pan. I want to be here for the next 40 years. And that's why I'm building out the content I'm building out. And I don't mind it not doing good today, because I want 6 years from now, a thing that was doing has 14 views, all of a sudden it has 6,000, 9,000, 12,000. And people say, I get it now. And then they look backwards and it becomes a huge archival library, because I'm playing the long game. I'm not playing the short game. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, in media right now, a lot of creators, a lot of people want to be interviewed. They don't understand that if you're creating something, you need to play the long game. The short game, who cares? My interviews do not help. They help a little bit get people funded. But in reality, they're a brand play, not a I want my Kickstarter funded play. And I think that there has to be a very reversal thought process. I've been on a bunch of shows, and they have not helped me in any regard as far as my Kickstarter. They helped me with my brand. Yeah. When I'm on a show that got circulated to 15,000 people, me talking about financial advice. I mean, I don't know how many people would pay to be circulated to 15,000 people. It's a big deal. And I didn't promote anything. All that was promoted was my name. That's all I wanted. My name and Pop Anime Comics. That was it. 15,000 people on a radio show. I've been on shows that have had no, views, and people weren't giving them the time of day. I've been on shows where you have to be qualified to be a $100,000 business owner. I am not that. But when I pitched the guy there, I was like, dude, I got to talk to you, because what you're talking about and the way I pitched to him was unreal. It's like, you're probably smarter than most people who run $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 businesses, because you figured out how to take a distribution out of yours and take a sizable distribution out of yours. And I think this is why I get a lot of flack for this, though, because I call it like I see it, and I'm playing the long game, and that's where I'm going with this. And I think that's what a lot of creators need to get. And I think it's a real problem.
Now our friend Jazzview is going to be upset he didn't get to come on and ask you these questions. He's usually here with us, but I'm not sure why he wasn't here tonight. He said he sent something. But what advice would you have for somebody just starting out and doing this?
Doing what exactly?
The streaming and what you do here.
Yeah. It's easy. It's easy. Honestly, you don't need a big mic. You don't need a good camera. You don't need a good backdrop. You just really need, honestly, the way I do it is I love StreamYard. I don't utilize OBS. I don't connect OBS. I don't do anything fancy. And here's the thing. I've heard people say, oh, you need a backdrop. You need this. You need graphics. You need to do it this way. You need to know how to do graphics. You don't. What you need just to start streaming, and you can upgrade your equipment and your positions as you get better and you get more money. Now, I'm not saying that maybe if you come into $1,000, you buy a mic, but I don't have a mic. I don't use a headset when I'm streaming. I don't really care, because at the end of the day, I'm interviewing people and their name is what's going to carry. And I'm an interview show, and I just share it out like crazy. And to me, I've heard this before, and my response to everyone says, oh, you need a mic, you need a backdrop, you need a good setup, you need lighting. I'm like, great. So you want me to spend, let's call it, an even grand. So you want me to put $1,000 into this with no guarantees of me making any money, when I could spend $1,000 elsewhere on building a business, on saving money, having an emergency fund. Hey, you might not have $1,000 to spare. And it might take you, 6 months or a year to save up $1,000. And guess what? Then you spend $1,000 and then your car breaks down. Like, that's ridiculous.
No.
You should not be spending. You should be cash flowing your streaming in that regard as far as equipment goes. So anybody says, "Oh, you need this equipment," if people give you, I'm going to use it. I'm sorry. I know I have to keep the cursing doom minimum, but I'm going to say it. If people give you shit for that, they're ridiculous. You should ask them. If somebody gives you shit for it, you say, "Cool, throw me $50 and we'll start this process." Just turn it right around and say, "You clearly have an opinion. Put your money where your mouth is. Otherwise, your opinion is much like your rear end. Everybody has one." And so that's the money side. And then the other side of this is that, hey, figure out what type of show you want to run. You know, you just want to curate stuff and talk about it and say, "Cool, I want to just review stuff on this. And every Monday, we're going to review this show. Came out Sunday. Is that what we're going to do? Are we going to be, is this just me? And am I going to be sort of, I use two people. I use it on both political sides. You could be like Ben Shapiro, who covers just the news, and he gives his perspective, and it's the Ben Shapiro show, or you could be like Sam Cedar. And the reason why it's obviously Sam's on the left, Ben's on the right, and no matter which way you go, it's a really good example both ways. Great. You could be that type of show, or you could be a show like me, where I sit down with the guest and I'm one-on-one, and that's what we do. And you got to figure out what type of show you want to be. And that's so important, because depending on what you want to be, it's going to change how you do things. And then, because if you just want to be the show like the Ben Shapiro show, or, I think it's the Minority Report or Majority Report with Sam Cedar, great. That's going to dictate what you can and can't talk about and how you set your show up. If you're an interview show, and it's always going to pick up the categories you could talk about. If you're an interview show, cool. Do I want to do wrestlers? Do I want to do comic people? Mm-hmm. Do I want to do business leaders? Do I want to interview so-and-so? Do I just want to interview interesting people? I'm in a sector where I'm in pop culture. So I have the right to interview wrestlers, comic people. I interview the occasional adult star. I interview writers, I interview cosplayers, and I interview voice actors. You're not going to see me interview a top CEO of a business unless it's something like Activision or EA Sports or something like that that's actually fitting.
Right.
But I'm sure that there's questions on that. I'm more than happy to answer because I like talking about this.
Right. But unfortunately, we have hit our hour. So I want to give you the last couple minutes to give the old promotion, where we're going to find you, what you got coming up. Although we have looked at a bunch of your stuff. Let's get you big. That's what she's and.
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to be real quick. I'm Pop Anime Comics on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So you can find me there. You could also type in conversations in pop culture. That will bring it up. And I got about 4 to 5 interviews every single week, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Pretty much those are the 2 platforms that I really stream on. And if you miss the interview, no worries, because it's recorded automatically. It's up there. It's on replay, and you can check them out anytime. And as I've been saying lately, all I'm going to say is that I cannot promise that you will get smarter by watching me, but I sure as hell can say you'll be entertained. So that's something that, basically just Pop Anime Comics, conversations in pop culture. And every Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm doing 3 to 4 to 5 interviews a week. And I got a lot of fun stuff coming. And so if you want some cosplay, comics, pop culture, wrestling, voice acting in there, I got you covered. But that's it.
Nice. It's nice. We really appreciate you coming on, Andrew.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It was fun. Yeah,
it was a pleasure, like it always is. That time I jumped on one of your shows, that was a really good time. That's definitely a non-kids laughter session. So
it is more adult friendly. Yes.
It's definitely, but it's okay because those sessions are needed in life as well. And I'll be honest with you, I chuckled my head off. So I'm super glad I got to meet you through Chris. I'm super glad you purchased the game and bought the package. I'm glad we got to get you on. And again, I'm just grateful to have you on as a guest today.
I'm thankful to be here.
So thank you very much.
All righty, bud. So I'm pretty sure we'll still hang out in the back for a little bit, but we'll catch you all in a while.
All right. Night, guys.